Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today, our guest is Ashley, is a CEO of Curls Poppin. It's a doll line that changed the game by representing different group in the toy space, and it's born out of passion for hair care and also representing authentic identity. Those dolls that the company has created, not just beautiful, but they are also bold statement of empowerment. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today, Ashley.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So first of all, can you kind of just share with our audience a little bit more about your background?
Of course. First of all, thank you, Jason, for having me. My name is Ashley Head. I am the CEO of Curls Poppin Hair Products and Curls Poppin Dolls out of San Diego, California. We're a San Diego-based company. A little background about me. I am a Morehouse College graduate, class 2003, degree in chemistry, and I also have my MBA. But obviously, I have curly hair. So,
Yes.
you know, in my career, I ended up moving to New York City and working at a large pharmaceutical company there. And while I was living there, I was asked by in 2009, up and coming hair product company that needed male models. So they recruited me to be a male model spokesperson, and have a passion for hair. So I said, why not? But in launching their company, which is super successful and in Target stores, I realized there are many chemicals that should not be in a hair product company and the hair product line. So in 2018, I created shower caps and bonnets to work synergistically with these hair products. But then I realized after a few interviews with big box stores, they wanted me to have a liquid product. So during the pandemic, I created a liquid product. So that's one of the companies. But it morphed into tapping back into a desire to create dolls with curly hair from 2009, 2010 when I lived in the Dominican Republic. I realized they didn't have curly hair dolls. And by creating a liquid product, I then saw that the problem in the market was still not solved. Brown, beautiful dolls with brown eyes and big curly hair like me. And so I got to work in 2019, 2020, I released the Curls Poppin Doll line.
Yeah, and I think that's a very unique part about your story because you didn't start out in the toy and game industry. You guys start out in the hair care industry,
Exactly.
which is very different. So that's a very interesting. And how do you kind of apply some of the learning and some of your expertise in the hair care and product industry to the current toy product that you have?
I love that question. So I am the creator of 4 liquid products, and I also have bonnets and pillowcases and tools to style curly, natural curly hair, textured hair. So when it comes to working with dolls and creating a doll, I said I wanted a doll that looks like me. And so I'll give an example.
I think you have one with you. Yeah.
So here's a doll that looks like me. It has brown skin, brown eyes. Kept the makeup simple, but big curly hair. And so how do I apply my expertise in life to liquid products and having a hair product line to dolls? Well, I know that people who have curly hair like me and little boys and girls alike that have curly hair like me, sometimes they want to play with a doll that looks like them, and that's a gap in the market. So I am filling the market. So the expertise is filling the gaps in the market with my liquid products, and I fill the gaps in the market, the toy market, with my beautiful dolls with big curly hair.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think for the type of product you have, as we all know, the biggest doll line is Barbie, and they have a lot of different. With the movie they published a few years ago, they are wildly successful, and they also have been around for like decades. Like on the marketing side, do you have any specific like strategy that you are trying to compete against those like mega brand that have a lot more resources than us as a small businesses? So
I love your question. So when we talk about big brands like Barbie, the number one doll company in the world, and they have been, monopolizing the market for 70 plus years.
Yeah.
How does a new company like mine come to the market? Well, they didn't cover all of the bases. They didn't cover all the
Mhm.
demographics, and again, they left gaps for me to stand in. I stand in those gaps.
Mhm.
They although they created brown skin dolls,
Mhm.
almost realistic. They don't have beautiful dolls with this much articulation, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
The articulation. They didn't capture the basic fresh makeup, which is more realistic. They're to me, I always think they're like so glamorous with so many colors of makeup and also so many colors of eyes. I went with realistic, beautiful faces and realistic basic makeup that they
Mhm.
didn't do. Again, we talk about the articulation. They have some with articulation, but not like this. And then the unique giant curly hair that's realistic. They don't
Yeah.
have that. They don't have that. They never had it. They never had
Yeah.
it. So
I
so
see.
uh, so how do you compare? That's how you compare. And then
Mhm.
how do I come into the market and have confidence that I won't be crushed? Well, I have a demographic. I am a Morehouse College graduate. I have a license with Morehouse College. It's an all
Mm.
male school, so that's really interesting that people will find that this doll is in the Morehouse College bookstore.
Mhm.
The number one HBCU is actually Spelman College. And
Oh, okay.
so this doll has a license with Spelman College, so you'll find her in the Spelman College bookstore.
Okay.
And I think our most popular, fastest selling doll is the doll with the largest sorority in the world, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That's
Mm.
what this sorority represents. This is a HBCU doll, and this sorority is mainly at HBCU campuses, but there are campuses all over the country and world, and they're
Mhm.
the largest Black sorority. So we
I
have an
see.
exclusive license and the first doll line to have a license with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So that's how we compete. We have different. We have
Mm.
we're in different areas, and where Barbie never went. There's no Barbie representation with a license for HBCU. So my goal is to have our dolls in all of the HBCU bookstores, and that right there will be historic.
I see. That's a very interesting strategy.
Yeah.
And how do you secure those licenses with a few different kind of name that you just mentioned?
Well, yeah,
How did
these
that
some big
negotiation went?
names. Yeah, I love the question. I went to Morehouse College, so I was able to have a conversation with the bookstore there. And naturally,
Mhm.
Spelman College is right across the street. But the license doesn't come from the actual college; it comes from Follett Education. They
Mm.
have the license with many colleges, HBCUs, and many other non HBCUs, predominantly white institutions. So
Mhm.
we did a pitch, presented our dolls and our capabilities. They
Yeah.
loved it, and we're starting with Morehouse and Spelman, soon to expand to 10, 20, or 100 more.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. That's
yeah.
and congratulations on able to
Thank you.
secure that deal. I think
Yes.
that's also very important for the company. I want to
Yeah.
go back to one of the point that you mentioned that how
Yes.
your product have more articulation point. Can you elaborate on that on exactly how many more that you have compared to some of the competitor in the market?
I like the question. So when we talk about articulation, I'll say for an 11.5-inch doll, they typically have, I think, just their hips and their arms, which would be 4 points of articulation. With the Curls Poppin Doll line, there are dolls that have 9 points of articulation: the knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then elbow 7, 8, and then neck 9. So it's
Okay.
9 points of articulation where for those that don't know articulation, it's the bending and the posing, how they can
Yeah.
bend and pose, and you know this is important. Oh, and the wrist too. So
Oh, okay.
so they can bend, and Barbie doesn't do that. Most of the Barbies don't do that. And other dolls, there are other dolls that have the same amount of articulation, but we'll say most dolls their size don't have this many points of articulation.
I see. Was that also intentional when you first designed the product to try to make it different?
It is 100% is intentional. It costs a little bit more to have dolls with articulation, so I wanted to have a more high quality doll. And they
Mhm.
also, I said, how can we differentiate ourselves and stand out in the market? This doll also, if you play with her just a little bit, she can stand in her heels. So, how do we delineate ourselves? We have big curly hair, natural makeup, more articulation than most dolls their size, and then this beautiful doll. If spend a little time with her, she will stand in her heels.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty hard to design because of the balance. You tend to
Exactly.
fall over. So,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
I see. So that's also like a unique selling proposition.
It is, especially when you want to, They have done. You call it made to move. Doll creators know it's made to move. Toy owners know it's called made to move. So we are
Hmm.
the first beautiful black curly haired articulating made to move doll line.
Hmm. Okay, okay. And how are some of the kids and parents has responded to your product line so far, based on the people you're talking to?
Yeah, I love that question. We've only gotten raving reviews. People buy our dolls and say, I love this doll. She's beautiful. She's different. Little girls say, oh my gosh, she looks like me. She's not like the mermaid or the little blonde doll with the blue eyes from the movie. This is a doll that actually looks like me. She has curly hair like me, mom. Like, that's the response
Mhm,
we get. And
mhm,
ironically, the doll with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, one story I'd like to share, there was a 90-year-old at one of the trade shows we went to for the
mhm.
organization, and she said this was the first doll she bought since she was 5. This is what we said. Why? She said, what? 5 years old. Her grandmother bought her a white doll. She hated it because it didn't look like her. She buried it. Got in big trouble.
Very
Yeah, she buried it by a tree. Got in really
okay.
big trouble and never played with
I
dolls
see.
again. She swore by it. I don't want a doll ever again. She's
I
a
see.
90-year-old woman and bought our
Mm.
doll and said this is the first doll I could buy because it looks like me. So that's
Oh,
important.
I see. Thank you
That's
for sharing
important.
that story. It sounds like
Yeah.
she was almost traumatized by the
Traumatized. Yeah,
experience.
definitely.
So, yeah, okay, got it. And what are some of the challenges that you have faced so far trying to break into the toys and toy industry?
The challenges we face with breaking into the toy industry, first of all, standing out. How do you stand out in such a competitive market? Again, with big box stores and big brands out there, and even small
Mhm,
brands alike. How you delineate yourselves? How do you stand out? First of all, I'm a man of color creating a doll, so that's one
mm,
thing. So how do I? I don't know if don't know if there's even another one of me. But
mhm,
with the dolls, I think the most important thing is to stand out, to have a unique product, to have
mhm,
unique characteristics about that product that make it different. That
mhm,
this has not been done before. Because aside from our dolls coming standard with leather skirt and the Curls Poppin shirt, we also have this. One of the hottest items for Christmas would be
oh,
the Christmas doll,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
So how do you stand out? Other companies don't have this. So
Mm,
the trending in 2025 actually will be dolls, advent calendars, and AI, toys made with AI. I'm going to be
mm,
two of those. This doll is going to come in an advent calendar. So that's
mm.
super important. So think outside the box. Think what's trending and where's their gap. And I figured it out. It's dolls that look like mine. Dolls that like me.
I see, I see. And as far as marketing strategy goes, what are some of the marketing strategy that you have tried so far for the doll line, and which one has been more successful, and which one that you tried just doesn't really work? If you can share a little bit about both.
Yeah, best marketing strategies. Well, the good old fashioned word of mouth.
Hmm.
We go to these trade shows or people buy dolls. They spread word of mouth. It says dolls so beautiful. I love it. I'm going to buy some for my neighbors, my friends. If we're at a trade show and sell dolls, they'll get the information to pass on to a friend. So word of mouth is number one. I personally love TikTok and Instagram. I mean, it's the World Wide Web at your fingertips. I post a
Hmm.
video typically of a doll on TikTok or Instagram, share it across the
Hmm.
mediums. And people start to buy the doll. They see the video and say, "Wow, I want one." So from Maine to Florida to the state of Washington, people see the doll
Hmm.
and buy it. And there are some international buyers too. I've had a little girl in India has a doll.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
nice,
just one.
interesting. So I see. And what is your vision for the company over the next few years?
Over the next few years, I believe that the company will continue to grow, not slowly but steadily. I understand that one of the reasons other dog companies that are start in the market fail is because they have this huge success with marketing and getting the word out and people buying their dog and even getting into big box stores, but they cannot maintain the inventory. So
Mm,
that is a blind spot I think most small companies run into. We're entrepreneurs. We have our 9 to 5s, and we start these businesses and they start to take off, and then we take the big jump and go into big box stores and can't handle the upkeep of the inventory. So
mm,
that is a blind spot for a lot of small companies. So where I see myself is I will be here in a few years because I'm going to take the slow and steady route
mm,
to the top, not looking to the left to the right of my competitors, but keep growing, developing my brand. I see myself
mhm,
going to big box stores. I see myself getting more sororities, black sororities, and also expanding in universities, colleges, and other higher education institutions to be in their bookstores. I think that's a very unique niche, and I think I can keep growing in that direction, and I'll survive.
How many different SKU do you have in the product line currently?
We have 10 different SKUs, 10
10.
different dolls,
10
but
dolls.
we have more SKUs coming quickly because we have a lot of clothes that are essentially fashion that we call our fashion packs. Here's one right here. Our fashion packs of outfit with
Oh, okay.
boots and stuff like that, the
Yeah.
outfits. And so each of those will be a SKU under our doll lines, but we have 10 different dolls.
And are you planning to launch more this year besides the existing SKU?
We will be launching dolls. There's some exciting updates that will come in the next year, especially at Toy Fair 2026. I can't wait to see you there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Super unique
Mhm.
debuts in February 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th is the Toy Fair 2026. I'll be debuting some wonderful, unique products that I'm sure the market will gobble up. But as far as 2025, we are ensuring all of our lab testing of all of our products are up to date, our certificate of analysis, so we can make sure our products are safe. We are we are currently using we're an eco-friendly company, so we use a little bit of plastic on our boxes and more cardboard so they can be recycled and reused. So we're working on our packaging, eco-friendly packaging, and with our current $5 in the market, we think we'll just work with those through the Christmas holiday and have a lot of debut of new products in 2026.
I see. Yeah, I will be excited to see that as well. And as of today's recording, the biggest things within the toys and game industry is the tariff. What is your perspective on the tariff, and how are you dealing with that as a business owner?
Oh, those tariffs. I'm so glad you brought that up. The tariffs hit, and we do produce our dolls in China. I work closely with my manufacturer. We're basically friends. We talk on WhatsApp all the time, and we're trying to think of different and creative ways of getting around the tariffs. We haven't quite figured it out yet, but if they hit China like they're planned to, it's going to impact us significantly, and we hope to get around it somehow, some way by getting our product before they hit, and also working with our manufacturer to see if we can maybe go with larger quantity to keep the numbers not as high. But either way, we're going to be hit with tariffs, and it's not a good thing at all. It doesn't help at all.
Yeah, I can feel the struggle myself since we also have a shipment that's being hold off right now.
Yes,
We
exactly.
finished the production, but we're kind of waiting for the situation to kind of settle before we ship it over here to US.
Exactly.
So yeah, and that's other strategy that I can also share with you offline that you can consider as
Of
well
course.
to help with
Take
the
notes.
tariff situation. So yeah, but thank you so much again for being on our podcast and sharing with our audience your experience
Of course.
and just the accomplishment you have done with your brand so far.
Thank you.
If you
Thank
have to just share one piece of advice with someone that's getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be?
Someone that's getting started in the toys and games industry, what would some advice be? What I'm feeling now in this very moment is that you have to stick to your intuition, that gut feeling, to create that toy, and to not ask too many opinions from anyone about what you want to do. Because here I am, a man of color, making a doll with big curly hair, and I have a license with the largest sorority. Why hasn't a woman of the sorority ever made this? Or at Spelman, all women's HBCU. So I asked that question. People say, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Yes, I'm very sure. This is the toy I want to create. This is what I want to create. I got the download from God Himself, so here I am making it, and stick to it. If you have to do it in secret, make it, and don't ask too many opinions, because people will say, "Oh no, you shouldn't. Are you sure?" And it's a waste of time. But I have a friend that makes clothes for eggs, and she quit her full-time job to do that, and she's selling on Etsy. So anything is possible.
Yeah.
Stick to your intuition, because no one ever regretted following your intuition about anything. So stick to it.
That's a very good piece of advice. I mean, you only get one life, right? So
Yeah,
might
try
as
it.
well go for it.
Give it a try. And
So,
here's something.
yeah.
And I'll say I had evidence. I had evidence to support me in making a doll, because in 2018, when I created the liquid product company, it was the Curls Poppin. It wasn't liquid products at first. It was a bonnet and a shower cap.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I actually made a bonnet and a pillowcase and put it in a tube called the Curls Poppin Satin Sleep Set. And
Yeah.
then I wanted to go to a trade show to sell it. My wife said, before we go just selling a bonnet and a pillowcase, can you create another product? And I created the shower cap. So the shower cap, pillowcase, and bonnet. We sold product every 2 minutes and 1 second for 2 days straight.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It was a shower cap bonnet. So that just goes to show, follow your intuition on something that you think you want to bring to the market, and the market will speak. If the market buys it, it's a good idea. If the market doesn't buy it, it's a bad idea. Start over or change it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much again for being on our podcast and sharing your experiences and stories.
Of course.
And for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed today's conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support and we'd love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resource tips and the latest update within the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag #ToyBusinessUnboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.